Good morning, guys. It is Canada Day, July the 1st. And to celebrate it as a Canadian citizen, it will be one of the last days before the real life Truman Show gets buried underground, very deep down, will never be resurrected again by my hands. It's going to the morgue soon. After that, underground. It all starts, my friends, with something like this. Where is she pointing at? Over there? When I look over there, if I see the same thing that's also pointing, then I would look over there. And as soon as I turn over there, if I see the same thing that's also pointing, I'd be looking over there. Then again pointing and pointing and pointing and pointing and pointing. I go in circles, go daisy, go crazy, and drop. So, how do we get to this sort of Middle Eastern looking woman? This Greek, Italian, Spanish, Latin, Arabic, I don't know, could be Persian, Afghani woman pointing. How? My friends, the story starts with something very, very small. With eyes opening to the world, taking one look around, and then the first thing that happens is you get a slap on the butt. And then you go, wah. The world introduces you to a slap on the ass. Do you know what that means? Wake up, asswipe. Wake up. More like ass slap, not asswipe. Wake up. So, how does brainwash work? How do you get a human being to accept his surroundings, not ask questions, not look outside the bubble, not bother from the beginning? How? And what will cause this person to ask questions? Those are the two questions that we're going to be answering today. Remind me of them in case I forget. So, first question is, how do you get a human being to accept his surroundings and his life, the one he's living? Second question is, what makes him question it? How does he get to that point? What does it start with? It's a series of painful events and irregularities, things that are not natural, that will get him to start to ask questions. How does he accept it? We're gonna start from scratch. What makes him accept everything around him? Guys, it has to start from birth. Because if you know anything else for 1 second, then you will question what you're experiencing. So, I've always given you the example of the red chair. What if, this has got a lot to do with how brainwash works. Like I said, it has to be from birth. Shouldn't know anything else. Because if you did, you wouldn't accept it. You'd ask questions right away. So, how it works. How does it work? I'll give you an example. Experience from birth the following events, the following things, the following symptoms. Over and over again in every place that you go to. Like, every place that you ever go to has a red chair. Every place, every house you ever walk in has a red chair. You would accept it because it's the norm. It's the common norm, not common sense. Common sense will come later. It's the common norm. If your parents never talk to you and give you advice from the beginning, then it's the norm. If nobody ever hugs you, nobody ever gives you emotional support, nobody ever agrees with you on things, they're always against you. Whatever the case is, good, bad, wrong, right. If everyone around you at least once a day they cough 7-8 times, regardless whether they have a cold or not, you're not going to question that at the beginning. It's going to keep going. So on, so forth. You name it. You can write someone's life. It's a script. Because that's all they're surrounded with the whole time. Our surroundings tell us what life is. It's what we experience. That's how it starts. Because it doesn't matter. Common sense, we cannot possibly get to it yet. Because this is what we know. It's what you know. And what you don't know, you don't know. Now, you move forward. You keep on experiencing the same things. People don't treat you nice. You don't know what it's like to be treated nice because you've never experienced it. All these symptoms follow you everywhere you go. In a grocery store, at your home. Every time you look at somebody, they're always moving from birth. Every time you look at someone, they're talking, they're laughing, loud. You don't exaggerate it. Those things start at a minimal level. If they cough once a day, by the time you're 5 years old, they start coughing twice a day. By the time you're 10, they start coughing 3 times a day. That's how it works. Now, life will go on and on and on and on and on. If you've experienced there at your home, your mother and father always fighting, your mother saying, I hate men, your father saying, I hate women, and always fighting, then you're going to think it's the norm because you ain't seen anything else. And if you go to the neighbor's house, the same thing's happening. You go to the store, the same thing's happening. They even control what kind of things you watch on TV, the same thing's happening. Then you're going to accept it as the norm. Okay? So you go on and you go on and you go on. Now you're going to get to a certain age where biology will pretty much make you ask questions. Which is what age? When we reach puberty, just after that. Especially when we get to an age that's 18 and 19. You're going to want to start to ask questions. So what do you do to that person when the brainwash itself is not enough? He's old enough to start traveling, going places. Even though before that, the times he traveled, you actually chartered special planes for him to experience inside that plane the same thing he experiences in his house and everywhere else. And at the time he gets to the airport, even in the airport, they're prepped to do the same thing. Cough, a red chair, you guys know, etc. Whatever the characteristics are. And slowly, as he gets older, they increase and increase gradually, so it's not noticeable. Now, when you get to that age where you're going to start to ask, that's the time where you introduce the hardcore noise element and the movement. Why? Why do you increase it to a maximum? So he can't think, he can't concentrate. You stay in trance. Lots of movement in front of you all day long and lots of noise. You stay exactly in the same spot. The brain can't get to a focal point. For you to actually start to think, you need to have peace and quiet for, let's say, for example, for at least an hour. And then the brain starts to function properly. So introducing the element of noise and the element of movement is for that person not to wake up. It's an increase, it's an added topping to brainwash. Because brainwash by itself will stop working eventually. A person's going to start to ask questions. Why is there a red chair in every house that I go to? How come everyone around me is always coughing all year round, regardless whether they have a cold or not? So how do you delay that process? By introducing a very noisy, irritating environment so the person can never get to that focal point so he can start thinking properly. There's a lot of elements that could be implemented. Putting things in front of him, dirt, weird things to grab his attention, bright colors everywhere he goes. It's basically making your world very distracting and ugly. Always grabbing your attention here and there. Look here, look there, look there, look up, look down. That's the whole pointing, what it's all about as we started this video. It's to distract you, misdirect you, and keep you looking at meaningless things around you, keep you dizzy. Whether it's dirt on your trail, whether it's a naked woman bending over in front of you, whether if you're a man, whether it's a food that you don't have, that's when psychological warfare really kicks in. Whether it's things like that on your trail, if you had a gambling problem, they put tons of those on your trail. They've given you the gambling problem to begin with. Whether it's lots of talking everywhere you go, talking, yapping, that's for you not to concentrate. So you gotta try your best to close your eyes and ignore, not look at them, not listen to them, and pass by as fast as possible. So, my friends, this is how it starts. Now, the noise is not enough. I was attacked before that in all kinds of things, with women that just took off, that make me run after them, didn't work. Obviously for a teenager, that's a very powerful thing to enslave him with, to really grab his attention with and pull him away with a, what else at that time? A good car, a sports car. You can't please a teenager more than that. And money, a constant flow of money. Constant looks from the family of admiration. It's fake admiration to fool you, to make you think you know it all. Because it's the only way you can pull the curtain. You can pull the rug from under a person's feet. If they're paying attention, you can't do that. You distract them. You make them delusional, thinking they know it all. Their head way up in the clouds. They're not paying attention anymore. Then it's easy to pull the rug from under their feet. And when they land on their butt, you start heavy-duty noise campaign. You surround them with everything that's disgusting, everything that's eye-catching, but not in a good way, to destroy them. And then, if that doesn't work still, they still get isolated at home from their bad society, bad surroundings, which you've created, which is fake. To destroy that person, he gets isolated, he pulls back, he gets isolated at home, he buys a computer, and in 3 months builds up websites, starts making thousands of dollars. That's dangerous, because that could help him come out of that fake world. What do? You increase the tension, the mistreatment, and you surround them with drugs. It took me about 3 months to accept a pill that my brother was trying to lure me with. The whole time I was getting abused and depressed at home. Over that, more than that. Didn't touch anything till I was about 24 and really depressed. Then they introduce you to opiates, because opiates is a big lock. It's bondage. You get locked. You can't stay without them. You wake up the next morning, even though psychologically you don't want to do them anymore, your body needs them. You hurt. It's hell. And you have to be able to go through that for 4 or 5 days in order for those, or 10 or a month, some of them, in order for that pain to go away. That period of time, if you're being surrounded with what I was surrounded with, stressed, angry, irritated, provoked, teased, trust me guys, you can't do it. So I was never able to do that. So the story moves on and on and on and on. And I start to travel. They follow me to all these countries, from the airport here to the plane, to the airport, to those places, all set up. The same environment with the red chair, the coughing. The red chair is just an example, guys. There's about 50 characteristics that they've done to me in every single place I've ever been to. And another 50 ways to treat me, and another 50 kind of stories to talk to me about. That's my world. That's all I know. And I was always prevented from piercing the bubble and touching the outside world. This is how you can create a real-life Truman Show on this planet. How? by monitoring him, knowing everything about him, the things he likes, the things he doesn't like. And then everywhere he goes, as soon as he comes out of his house, all the real people have to be kicked out of that place, and they have to be replaced with their agents that know exactly how to treat you. From what you know from your own world, the way your parents treated you when you're young, talk to you the same way, treat you the same way, move a lot around there, make a lot of noise, have tons of cars around him everywhere he goes. So you don't realize it's different because you'll feel better. You were born in a world, in a painful world. That's in the end what got me to wake up from all the pain. The problem is the drug addiction took 15 years to really be, because of my surroundings, because of what I was surrounded with the whole time. These terrible surroundings that you've seen in all my videos. And these terrible stories and negativity and negativity and negativity. You apply all these things to someone's life, they won't be able to get out of there. It's a death trap. So it's not only a prison. Inside this prison, it's constant torture to sink you and sink you and sink you on a second basis. Anyways, once you figure that out, no, before that, how do you wake up? You get to a point where the pain increases. When I really beat the drugs, I started, that was in 2015. 14, I started, but in 15, pretty much I was really clear of them. And you start to look elsewhere. Your goals will change, your mind will change. I remember when I was in Cuba, all the perps down there that were surrounding me were telling me, get a job, get a job. Because obviously when you quit drugs, the first thing you want to do is get a job. So I could come here, and they prepped certain places for me here to pay me cash and do the same thing to me in those job places. I even volunteered at a food bank, same thing there. They flipped everything upside down. It was hell. Old ladies pacing in front of me all day long. People that were helping in the food bank always grabbing the chip bags, dropping boxes on the floor, noise, noise, noise. It was a circus, just like everywhere I went in my life before. So basically, the real Truman, guys, knows about life, about the world, probably 10 times more than the average person, and almost more than anybody on the planet. What he was deprived of, that normal people have, that don't live in this fake world that I live in, is real social and emotional contact with people, real people, that are not there to apply a certain agenda on him because he's imprisoned by them, to keep him in that prison. That are just there, they're minding their own business. If they connect with him, they'll have a normal conversation. They become friends after. They become boyfriend, girlfriend. They become whatever. This is what I was deprived of. The real Truman was deprived of this. Pretty much, nothing else. Materials, I've had more material than anybody else on the planet. Countries, I've been to half the countries in the world. But I haven't really been anywhere. I haven't really experienced anything. Because everywhere I go, that's what my surrounding is. It's flipped. I'm meeting fake people. You guys understand how this prison system works? The one I'm in? This invisible prison? This is how it works. That's how it becomes a prison. As soon as you move and you get out of your house, you meet nothing but their people. They flip everything. They get the real people out of there. You have no contact with real people. You're getting everything else that a normal person's getting, obviously with extra cars and extra noise and dirt on the floor in front of you and colors and obstacles and carriages in front of you and boxes that sort of distract you and keep you depressed with all that clutterness in your view and movement and noise. But a real person would have walked from there to this mall, same thing like I did. The only two things that I've lacked in my world that the real human beings out there have is contact with another person, real contact, emotional contact, psychological contact. I've had tons of girlfriends and tons of women, but I've never really had anyone. They were all fake agents to do the same thing to me and move the same way and do everything the way I know of that was done to me in my world. I know it sounds really strange, guys, for people who are watching this video for the first time, please watch more videos from my channel to get the point. Because if I was in your shoes, I'd say, what the hell is this guy talking about? What is wrong with him? I'd say the same thing. You have to watch a whole bunch of videos to understand what I was put in. Now, they've done something else to me, not just in my world as a person, on YouTube, on my channel. They've cocooned it somehow, some way. It almost has no real human contact. Most of it is filled with the same thing that my world is filled with here. How they do that, I don't know. I mean, the people who did this project obviously are the elites right on top. I mean, the writer that wrote The Truman Show didn't come straight from his head. He changed a lot of things in it. He's a great writer, but he had the basic idea from my life. What do you think they come up with those movies, guys, those stories? From intelligence agencies, from what's happening to the planet, from how they're slowly monitoring us and enslaving us with technology. Look at Enemy of the State with Will Smith. It's part of my life too. That's what I'm going through right now. I'm trying to get out of this fake prison that I'm in. They keep following me everywhere. They see me, and every place I get to, they flip it upside down. They put their own people there. Inside the houses, inside the apartment buildings, inside the stores, everywhere, guys. I don't know what they're doing to the real people, to be honest with you. How they get them out of there, I don't know. But we're going to find out this week. We're there. I will promise you guys that this prison will be buried underground before my birthday this year, September 2nd. 2019, I will be exactly 44 years old. I will promise you. So, the reason why I made this video is pretty much to show people out there how brainwash works, how you can get someone to believe and accept his surroundings, even though they're not natural, and what it takes for that person to wake up and realize that they're fake. And what kept that person away from seeing that for the longest amount of time? It's the constant noise and movement that keep them in a state of trance. It's like a spell. You don't focus, you can't think. It's constant, 24/7. So we're talking here about a project that started in 1975 that involved tons of people from then till now. God knows how many countries I've been to. You're talking at least a couple of $1 billion. Okay? This is real Truman talking here, by the way. Real Truman in the house. Not the one from the movies, even though Jim Carrey is Canadian too, and I'm Canadian. It's ironic, ain't it? What kind of actor they put into play that movie. Anyways, guys. This is how you do it. That's how brainwash works. It's all you know. So the difference between the real life Truman and the one in the movie, that one is sort of on an island, surrounded by water. Mine is just the same thing like everybody else. It's just movement. As soon as I move, I get out of the house, everybody out there gets flipped. So I experience a world. Let's say me and a normal person make the same walk, go for the same walk around a block. He will experience a clean block with not many people in it. Normal people, if he bumps into them, are doing normal things, standing straight, doing normal things. And quiet, no noise, not that many cars. And if he goes in to buy something from a place, he'll be treated nice by a normal human being. His coffee, he'll order a regular, he won't get double instead. He'll order a carrot muffin, they won't give him a chocolate chip instead. He'll get to the bathroom, it's clean, nobody's in it. I get to the bathroom, somebody just did number 2 in there, peed on the floor, napkins on the floor, barf on the wall. That's the difference. You get it? How my environment is painted? So this crew of people that's working outside on a place before I get to it, that's their job. It's to pretty much turn that place upside down for me. By the time I get there, all I see is clutterness, noise, ugliness, things that disgust you. This becomes your world everywhere you go because they're preceding you. They tap your internet. They know how you think. They know what you like, where you want to go next, what you're going to do on Sunday. And they prep those places. All right? This has been my world, guys. Unfortunately, my life was they've made a mockery out of me. Just like what they did to Truman in the movie. It's a mockery. But in the end, who's mocking who? Who's the idiot? Who's the evil, insecure person that needs to do such a thing to somebody in order for them to feel better, or in order for them to prove something to themselves or to the people around them? And look at the kind of person they pick to do this to. Someone who's capable of beating them. And you know what, guys? Do you know how old I was when I was picked up from an orphanage? Because I know I've seen pictures, I'll show them to you, with my fake mother holding me in her hand. And I looked at my face, that's me. I was about maybe 2 weeks old or a month. So they picked me up right away. So can I tell you something? Let's ask each other something here. How did they know I was going to come out like this? What if I came out different? Now, maybe they knew who my parents were. I don't know who my parents were. Maybe they were successful. Maybe they're known to be righteous. Maybe they were revolutionaries. Or maybe they didn't even know who my parents were. I don't know these things. I don't have this information at hand. But what I want to know is, how did they know I was going to come out like this? Because this project only works on true people that are real. Because the people that are naturally skeptical in their genes, they ask questions right away. They can't be brainwashed. Those kind of people, by the time they turn 10, 11, because they're not, people that are not courageous, stop and worry about their environment. Worry if they're going to take a shot here, take a shot there, and start to ask, hey, wait a minute, what am I walking into here? They're not courageous. Courage is nice, but it's not good just to walk in there and take a beating every day. You have to. But anyways, the whole point why I was telling you this is they had to pick someone who's not, in his genes, originally skeptic. Very courageous person that doesn't really care. Doesn't even care about his surrounding. He's all into himself. That's how we all are when we're kids. And slowly as we get older, we change. Now, if I was prevented from getting into the real world in order to experience those things and change, then I wouldn't. I'd stay a kid inside. All right? So, guys, when you watch movies out there about a 40-year-old virgin, who are they talking about? This is what they've done to me, and that's what they're doing to the whole planet. What they've done to me in my world, close, right on me, they're doing it on a wide scale, worldwide, through TVs, brainwash. As you see now, the new generation, the kids, they're away from their parents the whole time. They don't listen to them. They're stuck in their iPhone or in their game, looking at it all day long. They're doing the same to those kids, what they did to me in 1975, but through technology. Mine was through people, and eventually through technology too. All right? So guys, this is the place where he came into, to the 5th floor. Let's see today if they leave it open or they're doing construction. They're gonna close it. They won't let me go up there again. They'll make an excuse to clutter the place up for me. You'll either find cars. Guys, if you watch my earlier videos, 2 or 3 videos behind, you'll notice that we came to this level, nobody's up there. There's never anybody up on the 5th floor. Especially a day like today, where July 1st, Canada Day. Nobody's here. There was barely any cars. So let's see if there are cars and people up there. We're going to continue our topic about the brainwash and how it works, and how you can create a Truman Show world for a human being that lives right from within society. How? You prevent them from meeting those people. Every time he leaves his house, you get those people out of there, you put your own people there that act differently. I know it sounds psychotic, guys, and it is. Believe me, it took me 10 months now to figure this out completely. What was done to me since the day I was born. First by my own fake family, then slowly but surely, look what they put on your trail. Now I know you see those things sometimes in places, but I see those everywhere. So they want to remind you of all the things that distract you and destroy you. All right? Look what they put there. Come, to show you how they changed my surrounding. I'm going to show you what they put there that wasn't there before. Okay, now what you're going to be hearing here is a lot of noises, as much as possible at least. Cars whizzing by with loud mufflers, honking, unnecessary honking, planes, all of the above. And people coming up here and bothering me, pretending they want to chill up here or do whatever. That's what they did last time. Watch the video before this one, or 2 or 3 before. Anyways, I don't want to make videos anymore because there's no point of it. Everyone that watches my... I'm doing this for, certain people that watch my videos. There's no point. That's it. I've done it all. All I have to do is escape it now. Now, if this is what's been done to you, there are 2 ways to escape it. One way is, because it surrounds me, 2 mile, 3 mile square, all around me in a circle. I'm in a bubble. Either you have to beat them to the punch, get out of this bubble very, very fast. That's the reason why they gave me all these fake tickets to dismantle me so I can lose my license, because if I drove, it would be more difficult for them. They have to get there before me, that's why. And the second, look what they put up here since we came up here last time, guys, which was yesterday, no, the day before yesterday. 2 days ago I was up here. None of this shit was around. Look, this is what they put on your trail. Meaningless objects to distract you, to annoy you, to disgust you, whatever. If you're worried about paying the rent, you haven't paid the rent in 2 months, they'll put a bunch of mattresses there to tell you you're going to be homeless soon. We've seen it in most of my videos, and I've talked about it to you guys tons of times. But I mention it for the new viewers, for them to be interested in this video and want to watch other videos to see how real this is and what was done to me, how illegal and inhumane. It was done covertly by the intelligence agency. Not all of it, but a special department that took care of this fake Truman Show world for me. And other countries, their intelligence agencies, they set it up. Everything, everywhere I've been, guys. So you're talking about 20 countries that did this to me. All right. Anyways, so brainwash. Like I said, it works up to a certain point. You reach a certain age where you're going to start to ask questions. What do they do when you get close to that age? Listen, gonna start hearing noises now. Loud cars, bikes, noise, guys. Lots of noise, and always keep me surrounded with tons of people. So you don't have time to think. You don't have time to look at things and enjoy things and get ideas and be at peace with yourself. No focus. You're always irritated, tense. And on top of it, I was on drugs, opiates, which are it's heroin, pretty much. I was on them for 15 years. So I escaped my world because it was torturous. My surroundings were torturous. I never really paid attention to them. I didn't even look what was around me after a while. I lived like that in La La Land for 15 years. And you know what the funny thing is? Look, they put an asterisk this here. None of the stuff was here, none of it. Even, I don't think this purple was painted there. Anyways, you live in La La Land, guys. So anyways, and the funny thing is, throughout all that time, I actually built up businesses on the internet, made money, traveled. Just show you what kind of person I am. Even though I was in prison, depressed, and on drugs, I was still ambitious and still intelligent enough to be successful. But what did they do to me? They limited them, and they threw me in jail twice to demotivate me from working. And I had everybody around me always demotivating me. That's not the reason why I stopped. I stopped because I didn't get a result. I didn't see the fruits of my labor out of the work that I did. I wasn't enjoying myself. I was surrounded with this madness the whole time. So, guys, to see what I'm talking about, this madness, for the people who are new to this channel, please watch other videos so you see what I'm surrounded with 24/7. Yeah. So regardless of all that, I still did things, and that's why they feared me so much. In terms of finding out the reality of it, they worked extra hard all these years to always come up with new events for me, new something to keep me distracted, keep me hurt. They threw me in jail for no reason. I was innocent for 3 months over here too. I didn't get to jail, but they charged me with something that I was innocent of. It don't matter. It was the only time. It was in 2005. So, you know, it was a small, stupid charge. I never really went to jail. I just went to the station for 1 day. As soon as I got to the jail, I got out on bail the first day. So you think, regardless of all these provocations and irritations around me, listen. You hear the loud engines? It's Canada Day. There's nothing out there. Most people are either sleeping or they're planning their day out in, I don't know, Ontario Place or whatever. Now, I came up here is to be able to concentrate. So since they can't bring up here too many people, look at the garbage they put over there. And people that came up, saw the video from 2 days ago, knew that there was nothing around here when I came up. I told you they will screw it up and make it do something to distract me. Look, that's the proof, guys, today, all right? This is Fairview Mall, by the way, in Toronto. This is the intersection here. It's Don Mills and Shepherd, North York, Ontario, Canada, to be more exact. Today is July the 1st. Happy Canada Day for all Canadians out there, real Canadians, not the misdirected people that work on this fake show and torture me. Even to them, I wish them a happy Canada Day, and I forgive them for their unthoughtful actions towards me, and for their love of physical things in life. In order to get those, they come to my world and torture me in order, I don't know, to get a paycheck, to eat free food, whatever they give them. So on this beautiful day, guys, Canada is a beautiful country. This has nothing to do with Canada. This was done to me in every single country that I've ever been to. This is a international project by the elites who rule this planet from behind the scenes to see how they can brainwash. I was an experiment. How they can brainwash. I'm like a cyborg in a way. You know, I've been prevented from dealing with people, human beings, for 40 years, 44 years. Pretty much real human beings that will just connect with me on a beautiful level. Never got to that with anybody. I'm surrounded with fake people. I know it sounds ludicrous, guys. I know it sounds insane. But if you see at least 4, 5, 6, 7 videos of mine and you listen to what I say, you'll believe me 100%. I'm sure of it. Because you'll see the proof in front of you. All right. Now, what was I saying? We changed the subject here. Yeah. Happy Canada, guys. Canada is a beautiful country. Human rights, laws, rules, everything. It's a great place. The thing is, my world is different. This was a project. Obviously, the Canadian government had to approve it, but to stay secret, not for the public to know. And they still don't. You know, it's hard to expose it through my YouTube channel because they do to it what they do to me physically here. They surround me with a 2-mile radius with fake things. All right? For the real people not to be able to see it. So, not all of them, but you get the point. Anyways, and they've made up a lot of fake stuff, knowing that I was going to wake up. And they have the power on YouTube, these guys, to make videos today and date them and put them that they were put up 2 and 3 and 4 years ago. They could do that. And they can give a video that just went up in a week 60,000 views. They know tons of people. They just send them there to click on that link from a different ISP, different connection, whatever. So now they're trying to bury me into this world, force me into it, and make the borders really thick. That's why I say I have a lot of videos up there. I tell you, it's a prison with human bars. Because the people that are preventing me from getting out of this prison, the bars that hold me in here, it's human beings. It's fake people designed to irritate me and keep turning around me so they can lock me at home and isolate me. I can kill myself or OD or take drugs or whatever. Do destructive things. So the idea is to fight back right away and get out into the real world, not let them take you to that point. Unfortunately, my whole family, my fake friends, my whole entourage was in on it with them. I had no choice back in the days. Even if I was Superman or the next Messiah, I couldn't have done it. All right. So now we're at a point where I pretty much understand it all. It's just a matter of time until I pierce this bubble and make contact with real people. They're very powerful. They have tons of connections and money to print and throw on this as much as possible. Up to millions and millions of dollars a day if they had to. They've prepped it all over the world since the time I woke up. All over the world. In most countries, at least big major cities and all airports. And guess wherever I leave the airport here in Toronto, I will land in their arms again. I won't land in a... So there are 2 ways to pierce this bubble. One is to beat them to the punch and meet real people, which is very hard for me. Almost impossible now. Nothing's impossible, but it's very tough. The other one is, since it's a moving train, it's a choo-choo train. I call it that because it makes noise the whole time. Choo, 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 you know what I mean? And it's a moving army. That wherever I move, they precede me and change it. So basically, I never really get to walk on the road. They put a bridge for me to go up on, and I'm walking on the bridge getting screwed while normal people are at the bottom, under the bridge, living a normal life. That's a metaphor, because the bridge is not really physical. I'm still walking on the ground, the same ground that people walk in, but I'm meeting people that don't really live there. They're bringing them in order to block me. It's really weird, I know, but this is what's happening. Exactly, my videos prove it. I have about, I don't know, 200 something of them. I have another 500 saved. I just too lazy to upload them sometimes. They show a lot more things. What else? We're at a point right now where I'm going to pierce the bubble. The best way to do it is to sit in the same place. That's very important. An airport, a big hospital, downtown. I have to stay there for a good month. Because this choo-choo train can bring in more and more and replace, but up until when? If you're in a very important place where real people have to come in there, you can't block them from going in there for a week or 2 days, whatever, then this is the kind of place I have to hibernate in. Or find a place to rent right by it. So it's a walking distance, less than a minute. They don't have time to flip them. You get it? That's the way you come out of this prison. Once I make contact with real people, it's done. Right away, it's finished. Or I have to disappear in some kind of farm, wait for them not to find me to leave, hibernate there for a couple days, then come out and jump into the real world. Which is not a priority of mine. That's not the way I'm going to do it, but that's an idea. So there are a lot of ways. Now, money deprivation, they've deprived me of money so badly. They've robbed me over the last 2-3 months. God knows, over $2,000. Because if you have no money, you're paralyzed. You can't move. You can't even take the bus. You can't even take a cab anywhere. If you do, how are you going to eat outside the whole day? How are you going to drink? How are you going to smoke? So that's the reason why it took me so long to get out of this. I figured it out very soon. I mean, before I even woke up and realized that my world was fake. I remember I was walking with someone in front of my building. This was in August last year. I looked around and I told him it's like the Truman Show. Those were my first words. Because that's what it is. I figured it out right away. And then about 2 months later, I had about $2,200. Out of nowhere, at 7 o'clock one night, I booked a plane ticket to England, to London, from Toronto. And then, I get ready and everything. I'm about to leave. I go do the laundry, wash my clothes. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I get an email that, look, guys, that the ticket return is canceled. So, I'm like, why? So I go up to my account. I see that my bank withdrew $500-600. If you add up the $500-600 plus the price of the ticket, it came up to about $50 more than the money that I had in my account. And for some reason, it didn't bounce because I already bought the ticket. So why would the money return to my account? It was a strange thing that happened, and I tried to find out about it at the bank. They kept on saying weird things. They returned my money. You know what they did to me? They just closed my account a month later for no reason, because they were worried that would be investigated. Why does this person's money return? So they blocked me off from flying that day. It was only about 2 months after I woke up last year, sometime in December or January, beginning of this year. I woke up in August last year, the end of August. Okay, guys? So that was a provocation, the car that came up here right now. There's no reason to come up here. There's 4 levels and they're all empty. There's barely anybody in the mall today. This happened in the other video too, if you watch it. Look, he's still up here trying to show up and pace in front of me, and I try to ignore them. So, guys, yeah, so they blocked me. Now, the mistake that I've done back then, because they were hitting me with so many people everywhere I went, noise and noise. My fake mother was still home, opening and shutting windows all day long, coughing 24/7, flushing the toilet every 2 seconds, anything to make noise for me, and pace, to drive me crazy, and talk to herself. Apparently, she became a schizophrenic in '97 when the noise campaign started, and her schizophrenia only included those things that I just told you. So we both know how real that is. What else? Yeah. So I wanted to get out of here because I knew it. If I fly to another country, right away, quickly, without letting them know. Because all my life before, I would search, like this place, call to find out how much the ticket is, search some more locations about that country. By that time, they found out where I wanted to go. They prepped it. So what I did that night is I completely surprised them. And they didn't have it set up and ready. Because if I would have flown there with a normal plane, I would have met normal people, it would have been done. The mistake that I did is I didn't redo it right away the next day or 2 days later. Now, they would have done something in that country, but I could have redid it to another country. The France, for example. They didn't have those countries set up. Until I woke up, they got scared. Then they started setting up, and it's been about 10 months. So you're talking about the elites. These guys set this up. The only thing that stops them from moving forward fast is not finding the right people to do this. Money is huge. It's right there as much as they want. And it's just a matter of time until they find the right people and teach them what they need to do and study the geography of the area so they know where to put them. It's more architecture then. And that's what happened. So we're not going to bother with that plan anymore. We're going to pierce the bubble right here from where we are. We're not going to run away from them. All right, guys? So it's sitting in an important place for a month straight. And in an important location where people need to come in and out. They can't prevent them from doing that for more than a day, 2 or 3. Because all my life what they've done to me is they knew where I was going to go. And that's the reason why I showed you fake court sessions. Type in on my YouTube channel, search fake court session. You can listen, the judge talking, everything. They're all actors. They're talking about nothing for an hour. Using a couple of big words here and there. And nothing makes sense of what they're saying. Makes no sense at all. Listen to it. It says fake court session. So they can do that temporarily. But then what? Because nobody...